I think perfection and balance are two illusions that are designed to help you keep chasing something that's not even attainable.
Everybody's got an opinion, an agenda for what you should do with your time.
I don't think we should drive for money. I think we should drive to be a better version of ourselves.
Rise and shine!
It's Entspresso time!
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I am not a morning person, but if you create a schedule that inspires you daily, it will change your life. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee, know that I believe in you, and get ready for a shot of Entspresso from Lisa Nichols.
I wake up every morning. Espresso keep me going. I wake up every morning.
Being the best version of you. First of all, it's not, don't think of it holistic. I want you to break it down to different parts of your life. Because when you are committed to being the best version of you, which in summary, it's the you that you're so incredibly proud of holistically. It's a 360 approach. It says, I'm not perfect. So best does not mean the perfect version of you. Because I think perfection and balance are two illusions that are designed to help you keep chasing something that's not even attainable. So perfect is not attainable and balance is not attainable. So it's perfectly managing my imperfection and releasing balance and having harmony, number one. But the best version of you is really saying that in each area of my life, I'm in movement. In each area of my life, I'm in evolution. In each area of my life, I'm active. I am actively participating in an upwardly mobile way in this area of my life, times every area of my life. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're always where you want to be, but it does mean that you're being responsible, you're being active, and you're being proactive. Finances, that you're looking at your numbers. Just this morning, I ran my credit score again. I want to see what's on it. I want to be actively participating in my financial growth. I looked at my savings. I looked at my life insurance. I just looked at my long-term plan. Not necessarily because I want to buy another house or I want to buy a car. I just want to be on top of it. I want to be responsible for it. And then health and wellness. Just yesterday, I was talking to Matt and going, Matt, it's time for us to do another health and wellness campaign. I don't necessarily want to do it. And it slightly to moderately scares me a bit when I'm bringing my fitness into a public conversation. But I know the responsible me, the best version of Lisa, is saying, hold me accountable. Hold me accountable to my fitness goals. Hold me accountable to my total wellness goals. And then last week, I was just sitting with someone saying, you know what? I need to go down the list of all the checkups that I've had. I need to make sure I'm not missing anything. Relationships. I just said to a girlfriend yesterday, hold me accountable. Hold me accountable to not running. I realize that I run well and I run smoothly. I run like a gazelle sometimes when it comes to relationships. It doesn't even look like I'm running because I'm so busy. So I asked someone who knows me, who knows the love that I want, who knows my sexy excuses. I need you to hold me accountable. When I say this, I want you to question it. And so while there's so much growth in every area of my life, I'm being the best version that I know to be because I'm active in every single area. I'm not saying I'm being the best or I am the best. Please don't get me wrong with that. I'm just saying to be the best version of myself. So when you look at being the best version of yourself, look at each part of your life and go, what am I actively doing? Where you feel like I'm in the game in this area. I'm not resigned and I'm not praying for it to go right. Or I'm not in resignation and in complaint about it. I'm not a victim to that relationship. I'm not a victim to my finances. I'm not a victim to the relationships in my family. I'm an active part of creating what's occurring. And it can always get better, but I'm an active part. That's being the best version of you. And waking up each morning and saying, I like me today. I got many things I can work on, but I like me today. Before you ever go out on Facebook or any other social media platform to check to see if anyone else like you, your job is to like you first, and every other like is bonus. That's stepping into the best version of you. Setting long-term goals that make your knees knock a little bit and make your teeth chatter a little bit. Those goals that you don't know exactly how you're gonna get it done, but it's something that you wanna get done. It stretches you, but it doesn't stress you. Your goals are supposed to stretch you, not stress you. Those things, that combination. And when you live in that capacity and you focus and you operate in that one, that's when you're living and being the best version of you.
Everybody has an opinion on what the best version of you looks like. Your mom has an opinion, your friends have an opinion, society has an opinion, the people around you have an opinion. Everybody's got an opinion, an agenda for what you should do with your time. Right? Everybody is so busy judging other people instead of actually making a better change in their own lives. But you ask the 10 people around you what you should do, you're gonna get 10 different answers, and they're all gonna be convinced that they are right. The hardest thing, the real game, is for you to figure out what does the best version of you look like for you. And when you actually figure that out, that gives you the rock to stand on while everybody else is on quicksand. I'm gonna give you a simple exercise to help you figure it out. It's called Finding Your Who. In my book, Built to Serve, I talk about this as a 3-step process, who, why, how. But step 1 is the who. And the who gives you the rock to stand on. If you feel like you are constantly being pulled into 1,000 different directions from other people's opinions, that all these people want you to do different things and you don't know where to go, the problem is you don't know your who. You don't have your rock. When you figure out what your who is, you won't care as much about other people's opinions. You won't care as much about other people's judgments. You'll have a lot more empathy for where they're coming from, and their judgments of you won't change your behavior to just try to please them. Sound magical, right? So let's quickly talk about the who. If you want to dive deep, you can pick up Built to Serve, but the who is figuring out your most important core value. Everybody has a singular most important core value that is more important than the others. And it's always something positive. It's always something aspirational. If you had to think about it, I'm gonna give you some quick activities to think about, but if you just had to right now roughly think about what is your most important core value? Of all the things that are important to you, what is the most important core value that you have? First off, I've always found, done this exercises with thousands of people, it's always something positive. Somebody's who is always something positive. Your who is positive. You want to help, you want to serve, you want to do good. It's always positive. I've never had somebody's who come back and be death or hatred or anger. It's always something positive. It's inspire, it's freedom, it's belong, it's care, it's believe, it's extraordinary. It's always something positive. It just reaffirms my belief that people are good. People are good. I believe that people are good. Why do we do so many bad things? Why, if people are good, why is there so much pain and suffering in the world? Well, because people are in pain and suffering. Think about when you've been struggling, when you've been in pain. Did you always show up as your best self? Did you never hurt somebody? Did you never do something that was maybe against your values? Are you always proud of how you showed up to every situation? Of course not. And so you just expect people who are in pain and suffering to lash out because they're in pain and suffering, just like you have in the past. So step 1 is figuring out your who. So it may come immediately. Some people get it right away. If I ask them their most important core value, they can just, boom, come up with it. If that's you, fantastic. If not, I want you to start to think about a few essential questions. Number 1, who was your favorite teacher growing up and why? So of all the teachers that you've had in your life, who was your favorite? It wasn't because he or she taught you math in grade 9. They made you feel better about yourself for a specific reason. Why? Right? That's what you want to dive into. So I want you to write down the teacher's name and 3 things about that teacher that you loved. Next, I want you to think about what you loved about your parents. Maybe you love your parents. There's many things, and maybe you hate your parents, right? But what was 3 things that you loved about how your parents raised you? Next, I want you to think about your favorite movie of all time. What's your favorite movie of all time and why? You've watched lots of movies, right? Which one could you watch again and again and again? What was it? There's a story, there's a theme behind that movie. Those are 3 great questions to start with. So if I look at my life, my answers, for example, would be all around belief. My who is belief. My single most important core value is belief. If I look at my favorite teacher of all time, it's Madame Farr. She taught me
French when I was in high school, and she was also my personal mentor. And she helped me believe more in myself. It wasn't that she taught me how to speak French, it's that she made me feel like I could get straight A's. She just made me feel like that. And up until connecting with her, I was a B or C student. After that year, my last year with her, I was straight A+ student. She made me feel like I could believe in myself. And every morning, not every morning, every week in the morning, I would have a meeting with her and she would give me that extra belief. My parents taught me to believe in myself too. You know, my favorite line from them was them saying, "You're Evan Castrilli Carmichael, you can do anything you believe that you can." And anytime I struggled, I suffered, I had a bad report card, I did something wrong, they would, yes, sometimes discipline me if I did something, you know, bad, but they would always make me feel hopeful at the end by saying that I'm Evan Castrilli Carmichael, I can do anything to believe that I can. Even if I didn't believe it in the moment, the repetition, the pounding it in, you know, years later, decades later, it's still the message that I have on loop in my head. My favorite movie, the third question, favorite movie. My favorite movie of all time is Seabiscuit. It's about this horse that's too small, a jockey that's too big, an owner that has no money, and they all find each other and they start to win races based off a true story. I've seen that movie over 30 times. It's pretty cheesy, it's sappy, it's not the greatest, you know, film movie of all time, but it pulls on my heartstrings. And why? Because it's about belief. And so in going through that exercise, if I were to write 3 words about my favorite teacher, Madame Farr, 3 words about my parents and what I loved about how they raised me, and then 3 words about my favorite movie of all time, believe would come through all of it. And so this is what I want you to do. If you haven't already figured out your who, go through those 3 questions as a starting point and see what word comes up the most. Why it's so important is this will be with you for life. And all of these things that have happened to you have been almost random. That movie you watched, it was a random occurrence that it came to you. But once you figure out the pattern of the things that make you come alive, you can now, with more intention, live a better life. So if you go through those 3 questions and you circle the most important word, and I encourage you, pause the video, go do it. Who your favorite teacher was, what you loved about your parents, and your favorite movie of all time, write down the 3 words, circle the one that comes up the most. That gives you a blueprint moving forward for the rest of your life. I'm going to be believe forever. If anything, I'll be more about believe. I'm more about believe now at 40 than I was at 35, right? And I'll be more at 70, at 80, at 90 than I am right now. This stays with you for life. So it's worth actually spending some time figuring it out because it sets you up for life. So how does that help you be the best version of you? Back to the subject of this video. Well, I run my filter of what I should and shouldn't do through the lens of belief. And same thing for you. If you come down and find out that your who is freedom, now you start to run all your decisions through freedom. Do the people in my life let me have freedom? Does the work that I'm doing right now, the clients that I'm working with, or the boss that I have, do I get freedom there? Do my friends give me freedom? Right? And you start filtering through, and if you're unhappy right now, if you are not happy right now, it's because you're living your life incongruently with your who. There's too many things happening in multiple areas of your life that don't tie up to your who. So for me, anytime I'm unhappy, I'm feeling down, it's because there's too many things in my life that are anti-believe. Either the people that I'm associating with, the project I'm working on, my own self-talk, there's not enough belief in my life. I need more. Same thing for you. But we all run on different gasoline, right? Different fuel. For me, it's belief. For you, it's something else. You can't run your lens through belief unless that's your who as well. It's going to be something positive, but maybe it's going to be care or family or belong or extraordinary or freedom or inspiration or something else. I had a guy interview me named Nick who runs this channel about book thinkers, which helps people who are nonfiction readers learn and discover new books. And his who is progress. He needs to feel like he's making progress. And if he's not happy, it's because there hasn't been any progress in his personal life, in his business life. There's not enough progress. And so knowing that that's his operating system, he can make better decisions. he can allow more progress in. He can work on projects that give him more progress. And now when somebody in his life says, why are you doing, you shouldn't do that anymore. You should go do this. Like, why are you working so hard? Why? It doesn't hit as hard. It bounces off because he just has to run it through the filter of progress. Is this decision giving me progress? Yes, great, I'm gonna keep doing it because that's in alignment with my singular most important core value. Same thing for me for belief, same thing for you for whatever your who is. It's worth spending the time on. If you wanna go deeper, again, Built to Serve will help you, but answer those 3 questions. Circle the words, find your who. That gives you the path, the blueprint, the compass to actually have the map to create the best you possible. And it's worth it because you figure it out once. It gives you that direction for the rest of your life. Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action to do something in the next week. When you just watch something and get inspired, the science says you have a 35% chance of following through. But when you create an actual action plan around it, you have a 91% chance of following through. And I want that to be you, Believe Nation. And then when you commit to others and have some accountability, like you can in the comment section right here, you increase your chances of following through to 95%. So I want you to follow through. I want to know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. Put it down below so I can celebrate you. Also, if you want to have more self-belief and self-confidence, I have designed a free training just for you where every day for the next 254 days, I will send you an unlisted video absolutely free to your email to slowly shift your self-confidence and self-belief forward. To join for free, check the link in the description below.
We validate who we are by what we're doing for other people. So many times I get the question, how do I prevent failure? And I'd love for you to spend that same energy going, how could I ensure that I soar? Cognitive dissonance is when you have literally thought about a version of yourself that you're not currently living right now.
I don't think we should drive for money. I think we should drive to be a better version of ourselves. When money was no longer a worry for me, I dove into me. And I had been ignoring and tucking down a lot of crap for a lot of years. And I was surface level. I looked like the guy that had it all going on. My businesses were doing good. I have amazing children, company thriving. I live in the right neighborhood, have the right friends. Everything looked great, but it was all masked. And when money got out of the way, I was able to dig into me and do my own personal development and my own personal growth and really find the things that I wanted to fix so I could become a better version. Because I know if I'm pointing, because my son's over there, it doesn't matter what I tell him as a parent. And if you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. I could teach him everything. I give him lessons. We do Sunday meetings. I could teach him lessons every day. He's gonna become who I am, not what I say. And I'm gonna lead by example. And I wanna be a better version of me. And money's allowed that. Money has not made me evil or done bad things. It's allowed me to not worry about that part so I could focus on me. And simultaneously, the more I focused on me, the more I wanted to take my money and do better for other people. I mean, I heard somebody say once when they said they think money's evil, they said, you haven't made enough and you haven't given enough away yet to see that it's not.
If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.